Empowerment Through Knowledge Publishing and Sarina Stone present the Tequila Drinker's Guide to Health and Wellness Radio Hour with your host, author and medical Qigong educator, Sarina Stone. Featuring the director of the Universal Healing Tao and author of dozens of books on natural health and longevity, Tao Master Mantak Chia. This show is for all of us who work hard and play hard. Those of us who are willing to try new things to improve their life, and those who will not tolerate victimization as an answer to health and wellness issues. And now, the Tequila Drinker's Guide to Health and Wellness, Episode 21, Nutritional QiGong, Part 1. Today's show is about true nourishment versus eating just to feel full. True medical QiGong always includes nutrition. Master Chia is a fan of 5-element cooking. Our guest, Chef Marshall, explains how a simple understanding of food, water, sleep, and dynamic movement provides profound support for a happier, healthier life.
Today's podcast is about the difference between nourishing ourselves and just eating. I have a huge interest in this, by the way, folks. In the USA, we have obese citizens dying of malnutrition. How could this be? Our guest, Chef Marshall O'Brien, explains how food provides building blocks for not only optimal physical health, but support for the mind. This is Qigong. Marshall O'Brien is a trained chef, presenter, trainer, and is the CEO of the Chef Marshall O'Brien Group. His group's mission is to educate and empower people to achieve quality lives through smart nutrition and self-awareness. The group is made up of chefs, dietitians, researchers, writers, and videographers. The Chef Marshall O'Brien Group works with child care providers, schools, the YMCA, fire departments, police and public works, cities, and corporations on staff wellness and nutrition strategies that help all people perform better and live happier, healthier lives. We're very, very lucky to have Marshall on our show today. If you live in the Midwest, you've seen this guy on TV a lot. He's very passionate about what he does. So, Chef Marshall, thank you so much for joining us today.
Thank you. It's exciting to be here.
Yay!
Super exciting to be here.
All right, so a lot of our listeners are folks that are interested in natural health, but most of our folks, they're just regular folks, okay? So I want to just jump right into this, Chef Marshall. You work with a lot of different people, including groups like we said earlier, police, firefighters, but you also work with factory workers or CEOs, office support staff, pretty much everybody, right?
Yep.
Are you trying to say that there's one size fits all approach to attaining a better quality life with your food? Everybody can just follow the same program?
That's an awesome question, Sarina. And at the end of the day, like for example, you're a super busy person. You're traveling all the time, and you just put a lot of physical and emotional and mental energy into the things that you do, and your needs are a lot different than a firefighter's needs.
You think?
They need to be ready right away when there's a big crisis event and then be able to go out and perform, but it's a different kind of performance, and the energy that it takes is a different kind. So to answer your question, all these people, we all need to eat, we all need to sleep, we all need to stay hydrated, and we all need to be active to minimize the unfortunate realities out there of having all these chronic illnesses that most Americans are having.
Right.
So we need to have
Wait,
those things.
say those 4 pillars again, because that's what I've heard.
When we talk smart nutrition, we're really talking about nutrition, hydration, sleep, and physical activity.
Okay.
We all need that. I need it, you need it, everybody needs it. But it's in different ratios.
If I think about it, because, I have a relative that's a retired firefighter now. If an alarm goes off at 8:00 at night, it is not beneficial to a firefighter if he just ate lasagna. Right?
Right. Yeah.
Made with canned tomato sauce and da-da-da-da-da. Yeah, I mean, if I eat a big pile of lasagna, I'm just going to go home and digest, right?
Or pass out.
Or pass out, right?
Right.
or both.
Yeah.
But if a firefighter doesn't have the proper nutrition, actually, that could hurt somebody if he's not at 100%. Am I right?
You are right. And if you think about it, if you go, when you are really physically active and then you've just gone through a big crisis event, like a bit, whether it's a car accident or it's a fire, that kind of thing, your body, after you start to come down off of that high, you need to start the muscle recovery, muscle rebuilding process. And so you need to be eating certain foods to help minimize the short-term inflammation that occurs because of that event. Now we're getting really granular here talking about firefighters, so let's just step back for a second. And when you think about, like you said in our intro, we think of food as a feeding tool for the most part in the U.S. And I put it through that lens because my wife's from Istanbul, Turkey, and they have a very different relationship with food. And frankly, a lot of people outside the westernized world have a very different relationship with food. When we think about just feeding ourselves here, we just think about what's convenient, right?
Right.
Go through the drive-through, and it's great. And I'm not here to tell you how to live your life, but what people need to understand is that nourishing is different than eating. And what we've been doing as an organization is helping people in a non-judgmental way understand that when you feed yourself, you're going to, you go about your business, you go about your day, and maybe you have headaches, maybe you feel lethargic, maybe you're bloated, at 2:00 in the afternoon, you don't have any energy and you just feel like, oh, I guess that's just the way it is. So I grab a cup of coffee or I grab a candy bar or whatever. And
that's what people think is normal.
Exactly. And it's not normal. Like it doesn't have, those feelings, those headaches, that extra stress on your body, we just think it's normal. It's not normal. And a lot of people, when we talk to them, when they realize that there's foods that can help reduce stress, there's foods that can help minimize the inflammation, like in that case with the firefighters, there's foods that can help improve mental clarity. Holy cow. Now, I'll be honest with you, it's an uphill battle to get people to see this, and that's why we always talk about baby steps. I mean, anything, think about it. You go from a couch potato to an Iron Man.
Right.
Not going to happen. Yeah. It's not going to happen.
Not in a day.
Not in a day.
Not in a day. In the Tao, the way Master Chia teaches, you have a practice and you just do it and try not to be too attached to the outcome.
That's a great way. I love that.
Do it. Just make a commitment and do a little something every day.
Yes.
And it builds up. Do
you
agree? Obviously.
Absolutely. And you couldn't have said it better. I mean, anything that you can do today that is an improvement over yesterday is progress. And the way you say it is a lot sexier and just a lot, and maybe it's just the way you say it. But that is exactly right. And we need to get people thinking about how are you feeling right now? And think about this. When you hear the word healthy eating, the first two things that most people think about is it tastes gross. Mm-hmm. Because that's what we've created, that type of conversation, and we can talk about that or whatever. And then the other thing, it's hard to do.
I would say that those are pretty much... Oh, wait, there's one more.
Oh.
It's too expensive.
And it's too expensive. So we need to get people thinking about, instead of eating healthy, we need to get thinking them about, well, yeah, you know what? I could have less stress in my life. I could use less stress. I could have more energy. I could be able to think more clear. I would love it if when I woke up, my shoulder wasn't hurting or my stomach didn't hurt, or, I'm sick of having these headaches all the time, or, my eyesight is kind of lame right now. Maybe I would be great if I could do that. And I don't have, my point is if we can attach a selfish benefit that you can achieve, that you can totally relate to, because like stress
that you need
that, yeah, I mean, who doesn't have stress in their life?
Nobody I've ever met.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, and that's two of us, right? And I think we're the two most stress-free people on the planet, probably, right? With all the things we have going on. I mean, all jokes aside, if we get people thinking selfish benefits that you can taste, feel, and see the difference in 2 to 4 weeks, now you're going, oh yeah. So like when you get people meditating and thinking, and I'm gonna probably not do this right, but I'll try it anyways. Okay. Thinking through the Tao lens of like, detaching from the outcome and just trying to be in the moment. It's easier to do that in little pieces.
Definitely.
Yeah.
I'm the queen of short meditation.
So when it comes to smart nutrition and what we're talking about, like if you want to have a better quality of life, start weaning yourself off of certain foods and getting the right kinds of foods into your life. It's all baby steps. So.
Okay, wait, let me ask you something, because I've been doing this I've been working with people for many years. I feel like people are so skittish about making changes with their food because we actually have...
Because they're human beings?
Well, yeah, but we have attachments, most of us, from our youth,
mm-hmm.
Okay? So,
yeah, very good point.
We're accustomed to labels, we're accustomed to dishes that our mom made,
experiences, memories,
that go
smells,
along with that.
Yeah.
So I hit it really slow. Now you use the word hydration as one of your pillars for health. Actually, what I do is starting when they get up in the morning. Most people are up by 6 or 7. Mm-hmm. If most folks until they go to bed. The goal is to try to drink as close to 1 gallon of filtered water as possible every day. It's kind of tough a lot of days. On a hot sunny day, you can nail it, but.
Yeah.
I start with that, and we'll do that for about 5 days. That is the only thing that I ask them to do that's different, and 90% of them who stick with it already feel different. Their elimination is different, their skin is different, their energy level is different, and that gives them motivation. And the next thing I'll give them is, I want to talk about organics, Marshall, because I feel strongly about not mm-hmm. having chemicals in my diet, mm-hmm. okay, as often as possible. Mm-hmm. But then my next step, and you tell me what you think about this, is I'll tell them, take 1 fruit and 1 vegetable for the next week. And instead of buying what you normally buy it in organic. So I want you to munch on carrots or eat those apples. Half the time I figure out they're not eating fresh fruits and vegetables, so that doesn't really work.
Yeah.
But in the other world where I get what I want, that's how slow I go. What are you guys doing?
I think that's a great strategy. I think you and I are trying to do the same thing, and I think we're doing it in actually similar ways. Because what I'm hearing from you is you're not proposing extreme, unsustainable
change
suggestions. Yeah. No, I mean, and that's the biggest thing is, and before when you were saying, people are skittish to change because we're creatures of habits and we have all these associations. And so that's why we focus on, all right, you want to achieve an improvement in 2 to 4 weeks. That's a fair request.
Sure.
When you say, well, I'm going to eat healthy to be healthy, I don't even know where to begin with that. I mean, that's like if you're lucky and you know what you're doing, in 6 months you'll have improvements. But realistically, it's like 1 year to 2 years. And so that's why, like, if you can say, we're going to start with taking 1 fruit and 1 vegetable that you really like and try to have it in its most minimally processed form possible. And for a lot of people, that means you mean fruit snacks aren't real fruit?
Oh
Yeah,
my
no,
gosh, I
they're
never
not.
thought about that. Of course,
Yes.
you can't take, carrots and apples and then cover them with crap.
Right. Well, right. And
I
my
forgot.
whole thing is I want to dance with where people are at, because otherwise they feel alienated and
Right.
judged,
No,
and
you're right.
and so what we try to do is we say, okay, if you don't have any of this stuff in your life, first we got to believe that this matters. So got to explain the why, because until you explain the why, showing the how and what's a waste of time. So we explain the why, and you already kind of explained our why for us. I thought you did a great job with it. Thank you. And then people got to believe. And usually people, when they recognize that just by like getting rid of certain foods in your life can help you like reduce stress or can get rid of headaches. Like try to figure out what drives people, what motivates people. And, the stress piece, the immune system, like we work with a lot of teachers. Well, their immune systems are constantly being compromised because of all the kids.
Right.
So you go in, you say, hey, wouldn't it be great if you had a super strong immune system so you weren't feeling lousy all the time? They're like, what are you talking about? Yeah, of course.
So this is no way is Chef Marshall O'Brien Group advocating a one program fits
You
all.
can't. Yeah.
You can't.
No, you can't.
That's brilliant.
I mean,
you actually cater to the individual.
Yes, you are absolutely right. So, you gave some glowing examples of the groups that we've worked with, and I want to bring them back up because we try to help the pillars of our community. So schools and childcare, police, fire departments, public works departments. I mean, they're like making, and I can be all philosophical about why they're so great, but they're great because they're kind of like, they're keeping the community intact, right?
Yeah, they're taking care of us.
And they all have different needs. I mean, when it comes to public works folks, physical labor out in the field, what they need to be doing right after their job, right after the day, is they need to be getting 10 grams of protein into their system to start that muscle recovery and rebuilding process. And then they need to make sure that they have a good protein meal for that when they go to bed and they get enough sleep, which is a whole other conversation. They get enough sleep that they start to rebuild their cells, and they through adequate sleep, they can lower their stress hormones, their cortisol levels go down, and when they wake up, they have less inflammation because they're going to go back and do the same thing. And it's obviously a big, it's a cycle.
The cortisol level goes down, the inflammation goes down.
Absolutely, yeah.
So basically, this is about as Tao, the way of nature, as it gets. You're not actually telling us we have to go out and buy pogo sticks or do some crazy stuff. It'd be fun. Although yes, one of your areas of wellness is
in physical activity.
So basically, but all of your areas, and I want to quickly go over those because then I want to transition and talk about families and kids.
Yeah.
But all of these 4 areas that you say that we just need to be aware of and work with, they're all natural.
They're all
natural.
natural.
It's perfectly natural going to sleep. It is perfectly natural eating real food instead of processed. It is perfectly natural to drink water, and we were built to move.
Yes,
okay?
and it could be just parking a little bit further from the door, taking the stairs. I mean, when you're at work, grab a clipboard. I say this all the time to people. Grab a clipboard, walk around the halls. People will think you're doing something important, so you don't get in trouble, but you're moving your body, because the most recent studies have shown that when you sit for longer than 60 minutes at a time, you literally lose blood flow to your brain. And your pulse rate goes down. When those two things happen, your mental clarity goes down and your energy levels go down. So just get up and move. Like at my office, I have a regular seated desk, but then I have right next to my desk, I can stand and work at my computer. And then we strategically have our studio kitchen down the hall and to the left, literally, so that we can be moving, constantly go down, check out what we're working on for recipes or food photography or videos or whatever the case is, but we're constantly moving. And you don't have to get a gym membership. Sure, it's great and it's fun, but you don't have to do that kind of stuff. You just got to be active. And the food piece, you can't exercise your way out of a crappy diet, folks. Okay? We're actually...
Really?
Yeah, you can't. And actually, it's funny because we're going to be releasing our no diet weight loss program in, I think, 2 months, give or take. And a lot of people think of,
Wait a minute. This month, right now, we are in March. We're at the end of March. So April, May. So hopefully at some point in June.
Yeah, most likely in June it'll be ready. And a lot of people, again, I can't emphasize this enough, it's all about baby steps, and you get infinite number of do-overs. So, we're having like you and I are on the same wavelength, and we have the same kind of lifestyle. And if I can tell anybody anything on how to get started, like right now, is just avoid 3 things to start with. Avoid added sugar, bad fats, and excess preservatives.
Okay, hold on.
Okay, now that's really simple.
Is there some material out here? Now you're talking about things to take out. Before we were talking about these 4 areas that they're totally natural, but you kind of need to be aware of, like, okay, but these 4 areas exist every day. Do I have to hire you to come be with me, or
you get on the list? Because right.
No, really. I mean, this is all simple stuff until you start putting it all together. So how are we supposed to? We get,
Sarina, good question. And I speak to groups all over Minnesota and the Midwest, and when I do my TV stuff every other week, and people always come up to me or call or email or whatever, or on social media, they say, you know what? I am a wreck. I know I need to do something. Yes, I love your recipes. I like your philosophy. You're approachable, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. How do I get started? Mm-hmm. Tell us what to do. And people have been telling us this for about 5 years. Yeah. And then last fall, we were working with a client up in northern Minnesota, and heard the same story. And his name's Clark. So Clark said, guys, I know I'm a wreck. Just tell me what to do. Give me a manual. Give me a step-by-step guide. And all of a sudden, this light bulb went off in our head. So we put together our Smart Nutrition Workbook, and it is literally a structured yet flexible pathway to help people lead a happier, healthier life. And when you open it up, go to page 6 and 7, there's 23 action items that you can do. Like for me, I'm trying to have better sleep. That is my big goal this year, because I have been chronically sleep deprived for 10 years. And I'm working on sleep. Now, Sarina, your goals might be you want better digestion or something like that. Okay. Well, you go to these 2 pages in the book, regardless of your goal, and you start chipping away at them, and then get a buddy so you can talk about the cool things that you're doing. Okay. And within 2 to 4 weeks, you've started making some changes, and you didn't even really put a whole lot of planning into it. Now, the workbook gives you a plan and can help you have structure, but it also can be really flexible. So we're trying to give people that. And, folks, I can't emphasize this enough. It's all baby steps. If you can, like I said before, and then we started talking other things, if you can get those 3 things out of your life,
processed sugar.
Yep, added sugar, bad fats, and excess preservatives, get those out of your life. And the challenging part in the U.S. is that of over 80% of all processed foods on the marketplace have all those things for the most part.
Right.
So when that's a whole nother podcast right there.
You have to be kinder with your people, because it's all about food. My folks are, meditators, Qigong folks, and I'm sorry, but if I say eat real food, I actually mean
and I do too.
Eat real food.
And I do too. So we're on the same page.
I'm asking for a little bit more from the medical Qigong community out there, but I think average folks who are just stepping into the natural health arena. I think it's enough just to say, read your labels. If you want to know if you can eat that food,
we actually one of the sections in here.
You shouldn't eat it.
No, that's Sarina. That is such a fantastic point, and we do a big thing about reading the food labels. And to Sarina's point, folks.
Okay, wait. What page is that?
That's page 26.
26 on the chef. The Smart Nutrition Workbook.
Yeah, we do a big write-up about nutrition labels. And to Sarina's point, if you're looking at if you're going to put that in your body and it has some weird, unpronounceable, foreign-sounding, chemical-sounding thing that was invented in the late 1960s to preserve the shelf life of that food item, you probably shouldn't eat it. And I'm not trying to sound like a snob about it, but if you want to get rid of headaches, like a lot of people suffer from headaches. It's a real thing. Now it's not always because of a food sensitivity, but oftentimes it is.
I was going to say, how about you eat some of that crap and then get inflamed,
Yeah,
Hello,
well,
migraine. Hello, cluster headache.
a lot of preservatives trigger that response in your brain. And I'm not a brain scientist, but my researchers have done a lot of research on this, and a lot of the preservatives that are in all the packaged foods, or it could be that you're just simply not hydrated enough. So that
too.
Pathway, that plan that you were talking about before about getting people to drinking more water. I mean, our whole thing is ultimately based off of the research that we've used. We want people to take their body weight, divide it in half. So if you're 140 pounds, well, then you're going to divide that in half, and that will be how many fluid ounces a day you should try to drink. So it'd be 70 fluid ounces, or or whatever.
Interesting.
Yeah, and so it's and for some people that's easy. Like, I've trained myself. I drink half my body weight in fluid ounces, and the reason why it's so helpful for me, and I think you can speak the same because you're in the public spotlight all the time, Sarina. When you're dehydrated, your blood vessels are constricted. Your skin gets kind of
sallow and weird.
Exactly. And I make a point: you cannot hydrate at the last minute. Now,
you can try.
Well, you can try. It's not going to work.
Work.
And we talked about those 4 things: nutrition, hydration, sleep, and physical activity. And going back to the beginning of the podcast with the firefighters, they, along with all the other groups that we work with, they use those 4 elements, but they're very different in how they use them. So with firefighters, take a guess which component of nutrition, hydration, sleep, and physical activity, which one is the most important to that profession? Just take a guess.
Well, you just started talking about water, so I'll say hydration.
Absolutely. That is the number one thing that they can do to be safer on the job and more pain-free the next day, is by simply being optimally hydrated.
Fascinating.
Now, nutrition is a big deal, because if they have, if they do have, they're going to have sedentary days, and then they're going to have super physical days. But then nutrition is going to be important. Sleep is obviously important. They're all important, but the number one thing was hydration. With Public Works, I mentioned this before, their number one thing that they can focus on is having the right nutrition. And then, now with police, yep, exactly,
and vitamins and minerals so that their organs can function.
Yep, for muscle repair and recovery, absolutely. And then with police, what the research that we found was the number one thing for them. Guess what it is? If they want to have
sleep.
Yes, because mental clarity is so critical for what they're doing. They're helping keep people, safe and making really super hard decisions they got to make right away. Yeah. Sleep is huge, and we've done a lot of work with the Minneapolis Fire Department. We did some work with the police department, and with the police department, and this is not unique in Minneapolis, but a lot of officers that are on dog watch, which is the overnight shift, they tend to take caffeinated beverages to stay awake during the dog watch.
That
dehydrates them. It screws up their sleep hormones. It screws up their sleep patterns.
Oh, so then they're not really reasonable.
They're like it's this downward spiral that goes on and on and on. And so, anyways, I guess my point is those 4 components that we were talking about at the beginning are applicable to everyone. Now, think of someone who's in the public eye a lot, that's dealing with people. You need to, you want stress out of your life.
Right.
And you want consistent energy. You want less stress, consistent energy, and probably better mental clarity.
Definitely. And you can add to that a youthful appearance.
I
can't have dehydrated skin.
Yeah, a youthful appearance.
Blah, blah,
Yep. So what you eat dramatically impacts how you feel today and how you feel tomorrow. And, I'm on the road often, so I try to have a meal plan with me. I know what snacks are going to help me with consistent energy and keeping me relaxed and that kind of thing. And when I don't plan meals out for the day, I'm at the mercy of the gas stations.
Yeah.
I mean, that's a flawed way to think about it, and I'm hosed basically. So I guess I'm kind of going on a tangent here, but
you are. But obviously you're really passionate about what you do. What we didn't do is spend a lot of time talking about what can go wrong if we don't have proper nutrition. And I think it's okay, because I think it's fine to have a show where we talk about what could go right, what could change. We have a lot of folks listening out there that know they're a mess and they want something better and they don't know where to start. So again, guys, it's called the Smart Nutrition Workbook. We're going to have to do a part 2 with Marshall. I don't know when we're going to do that, but We haven't even started talking about families and kids yet.
Oh, that's
and
huge.
that's I think that's going to be the subject.
Please have me come back. I really want
Yeah.
to talk about that with you.
Yeah, that's
you
going to
do
be a whole show. I mean, our youth. Don't even get me started. As a matter of fact, really don't get me started. All right, let's give our listeners, Chef Marshall, the correct information. What I'm looking at here is called the Smart Nutrition Workbook, a step-by-step guide to a healthier, happier life. Is this the one that you told me sold out really fast?
Our first print run sold out in less than 2 weeks.
Okay,
and we're on our third printing now already.
We're on our third printing now. So folks, other people have tried it and like it. If you want some gentle support just to make a difference in your life without anybody micromanaging you, anything like that, just something on your own that's reasonable and doable. Marshall, why don't you tell us what your website is so they can go and find it?
ChefMarshallO'Brien.com.
ChefMarshallO'Brien.com. Okay. And there you're going to find recipes as well.
Yeah, we have lots of great content on ChefMarshallO'Brien.com, from recipes to blog posts on like how to feed your kids, things like that. And we also have, the workbook. It's only 48 pages. It's really short and sweet, and we did that by design because the research is constantly evolving and best practices are changing, and so to make our workbook stay relevant and not become obsolete, we did it the way we did, including a meal planning resource website that you can additionally subscribe to that has current issues. It has lots of recipes that we developed. You can do meal plans with automated shopping lists. You can get and you can get daily nutritionals on your carbohydrates and fat and proteins and things like that.
Wait. Go back 1 second. And folks, I know we got to go. Are you telling me if I sign up to do these meal plans?
If you get the workbook, you can get a really nice discount to get the subscription site to teach you how to cook nourishing foods and plan out meals for yourself to do these.
So if I want to have a grocery list for a specific meal I want to make for my family tomorrow night,
it'll automatically do it for you.
It will. I hit a button and the grocery list shows up.
Yeah, which is huge. I mean, think about it, folks. For a lot of people, the act of putting lists together, because we're all busy. I mean, I get that. I'm busy.
Right.
I'll take my own advice. So it's a great tool, and we're real folks. I mean, we're a team. And we field emails all the time, and social media posts we respond to. So if you ever have questions, don't hesitate to reach out and say hi and say you listen to us on Sarina's podcast, and would love to help you have a happier, healthier life.
Wonderful. All right, folks, you heard it here first. www.chefmarshall with 2 L's O'Brien. OBRIN.com. Let us know. Try the Smart Nutrition Workbook and let us know what you think. And we wish the best for you all, and we'll see you next week.
And now, some final thoughts with Master Mantak Chia. Sarina has advocated healthy nutritional habits for decades. One of her favorite ways to supplement missing nutritional elements is with organic essential oils, foods, and juices. For more information about unique nutritional support, go to sarinastone.com and click on Nutrition. Thank you for joining us on another Empowerment Through Knowledge adventure. Want to learn more? Find Master Chia at mantakchia.com. That's MANTAKCHIA.com. Find advanced learning materials, books, and more at sarinastone.com. That's SARINASTONE.com. Thanks for listening, and if you like what you heard, please subscribe today. This podcast was produced by J.C. Warfield Productions in conjunction with the Echo Chamber Studio, Minneapolis, Minnesota.